Today is the day we've all been waiting for. England begin their World Cup against Croatia, 9 p.m. UK time. It is, of course, a rematch of the 2018 semi-final, which still hurts. It is a great card today. We also have Portugal against Congo before that, and I've just seen, as I clicked record, Messi complete his hat-trick moments ago at 38 in a World Cup. What a player. I called him the GOAT in yesterday's video. Some of you disagreed in the comments. Well, let's see what Cristiano Ronaldo can bring to the table today. Ghana against Panama comes after England, and that is in Group L, and the bookies finding that one a little bit more difficult to call, as you can see by the odds here. So I think England against Croatia could potentially decide Group L in terms of who tops the group, and then Uzbekistan against Colombia. 1.42 for Colombia to win there, so they are firm favourites with the bookmakers. Now, before we check out the team stats, don't forget to add your predictions in the comments for your chance to win OddAlerts Pro. It is the England-Croatia game that I'm looking for in the comments. What are your predictions? The winner from yesterday's video will be coming up in a moment, so stay tuned. But first to Dallas, where England are playing Croatia. We can see we're just looking at the last 25 games here. Both good goal-scoring teams, as we'll see by the results. Croatia, I think, against slightly better opponents, scoring for fun at the moment in their recent competitive games at least. Of course, 2018 will be in the minds of England fans. Mario Mandzukic, 109th minute extra time winner in Moscow after England led through a Kieran Trippier free kick. And for Croatia, we'll start with their results. Luka Modric, at 40 years old, still leading his team. This is absolutely his final tournament, you would think, but we probably said that in the previous World Cup. What a player he has been, even now dictating the tempo for them and crucial in many of these results. And you can see plenty of clean sheets for Croatia, just as there is for England. And I mentioned the quality difference. It's close, isn't it? England have got to play teams like Latvia and Andorra, Albania, whereas Croatia have played Montenegro, Czech Republic, Faroe Islands. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty similar. They're both doing well, both not conceding many goals. I can see this one being a pretty tight game, as most of the games have been in terms of the goals for England under Thomas Tuchel. So just to confirm, 0 goals conceded in the whole of qualifying. Again, that is pretty special. England warmed up with wins over Costa Rica and New Zealand, but you really can't read too much into that. The same goes for Croatia and their pre-tournament games. Now, looking at goals conceded in the last 6 games, no clean sheets for Croatia. And another thing to note here is the difference in average age and the age profile in general, the types of players that Croatia have. They do have a few players that are past their best, you would say. Even Luka Modric, he's still a fantastic player, but he's most certainly past his peak, and he is their captain in the middle of the park. Whereas England, I think if this is another hot and humid day in Dallas, where it can get very hot, by the way, then I think England could have the legs over Croatia in this game. And ultimately, if England just want to keep the ball, as they have been doing really, really well under Thomas Tuchel, then that could be where they win this game. So here is the predicted lineup as it stands for England. Now, Rice, Anderson and the back four all pretty much name themselves, and Pickford, of course. Gordon over Rashford, they are predicting. Bellingham as the 10, and Madueke as Saka's replacement. Apparently Saka isn't capable of playing 90 minutes. I find that absolutely bizarre. I think that's something potentially that Thomas Tuchel didn't know until Saka arrived at this tournament, because if he did know that, surely Foden would have been brought, or Cole Palmer or Jarrod Bowen, somebody else in that right wing spot. Madueke, if he does start, big moment for him. He's not a bad player at all, but I think there are better players outside of the squad. Bellingham or Rodgers, I would personally go for Rodgers. I think he's a little bit more creative, bit more energy, but Bellingham, he is a very, very good, if not world-class player. And Gordon or Rashford, it is a coin flip for me. And to be honest, I think I would rather have Rashford just for his directness and his willingness to shoot and create something from nothing. But I do like Anthony Gordon. Now we're going to take a look at our tips section. Again, link in the description if you want to check this out. It combines all of our data and then runs it through our OddAlerts AI model. It says here, over 1.5 goals. Both sides have been involved in games clearing this line, often England in 8 out of 10, Croatia also in 8 out of 10. England are 4th in the FIFA World Rankings compared to Croatia, who are 11th. And it also says England to score more than once gives just a 2% edge, but we have a reliable attack. That is what it is saying here. Croatia's defence looks more vulnerable with just 4 clean sheets in 10 and 1 goal conceded per game. So England getting 2+ is plausible. Croatia to score as well offers a 12% edge. We will revisit this page when we come to do our predictions for the other games, but first let's take a look at some player data for both of these teams. So as far as goals are concerned, there is only one player to be looking at. It is Harry Kane, Super Harry Kane. 12 goals in his last 10 games for Bayern Munich. Ollie Watkins got the kick up the bottom that he needed by being left out of that March squad for England. He went on to score 9 goals in his last 10 and win a European trophy as well. Not bad. Ivan Toney has continued to score, and what a move, really. It turned out to be going to Saudi Arabia. He's pocketed millions and millions of pounds whilst getting to a World Cup. He's won, really, and if he does well here, I think he could get a move back to the Premier League this summer. Interestingly here as well, the top player is Petar Musa for Croatia, who does play in Dallas, so he will be very well accustomed to the humidity and the stadiums and the atmosphere. Now looking at touches per 90, because I do think England are going to see a lot of the ball. We can see Luka Modric now appearing in these charts, 90 touches per 90 minutes across his last 10. Elliot Anderson as well. Mark Gahey at the back. Will he start or will it be Konsa? I think it's going to be Gahey and Stones for that Manchester City familiarity. I think they're both good ball-playing centre-backs as well, which is what Thomas Tuchel prefers. And just keep this in mind because we will explore some of the passing options as well. I just think England are going to keep the ball, especially if they get an early goal. They will just try and keep the ball and almost bore Croatia into defeat, as they've done in qualifying to many teams. Who's having the most shots then? Well, Petar Musa again tops the charts. He was close, wasn't he, before for goals. And the Dallas forward, 3.91 shots per game in the MLS across his last 10. Harry Kane, Watkins, Rashford. I will have to wait until lineups for some of these players, but for someone like Harry Kane, we definitely know he's going to start. Marcus Rashford or Anthony Gordon, it could be a coin flip. And we have Bukayo Saka here as well. Surprised to not see him on the expected lineup, but again, he does have these random fitness issues that are only just coming to light in the past week. Fouls per 90, and we have an attacker here for Croatia, Igor Matanovic. 2.87 fouls per game as a pressing forward. Morgan Rogers up there as well. Elliot Anderson to commit a foul. He's got a big game up against Luka Modric. You've got to think Elliot Anderson and Declan Rice can run rings around the ageing midfield of Croatia. Famous last words, of course. Nico O'Reilly, what a moment for him. Breakout season really at Manchester City, and now starting at left back for England in the World Cup. And that, again, if we're talking about that battle in midfield and how you retain possession, O'Reilly coming into midfield to help out, and just really it's going to be difficult for a lot of teams against England, I feel. We've got a really good set of players. Tuchel has really selected the profiles that he wants quite well, and I am confident we get out of the group. After that, who knows? It's knockout football. This is an interesting stat, really interesting to see this person at the top of the charts here. Mark Gahey, over 1.5 fouls won in 66.7 of his last 10 appearances. That is pretty surprising to see him there. 9 appearances, 1 as a substitute. We can look at fouls drawn per 90 to see where he ranks as well. And now we get Bellingham, Gordon, Baturina, Anderson, Eze, and Gahey is still there at 1.78. So with all that said, I'm going to put together a couple of selections for this game. Let's go ahead and do it now. The first selection here, England to score over 1 goal, was suggested as a value play from the model and shop around because you can get better odds for that. It is 1.9. I can see this being a 2-0 victory to England. That would be my initial gut feeling on this game. Mark Gahey, 70 plus passes. He averages 81 in his last 10 games, and he is playing with his counterpart John Stones, you would imagine, tonight. And I think if England do take the lead, we will see a lot of passes between him, Rice, Stones, Anderson, O'Reilly. Just continuous rotations, trying to lure Croatia onto them so that they can then hit Gordon, Rashford, Saka. If England get an early lead, it is perfect given the type of players that they do have. Tuchel is a little bit more street smart in how he does it compared to how Southgate used to do it. And both teams to receive a card at 3.5. Let me know, as always, what you think in the comments. And speaking of comments, here is the winner from yesterday's video. Well done to you for your prediction. Get your predictions in on this video to win OddAlerts Pro tomorrow. Now, the second selection here, I'm going to put together one more after this. Both teams to score, going against the grain a little bit there, but Croatia have been in good goal-scoring form in their recent competitive games, and they do have good quality players. And Declan Rice to win a foul in that midfield. I think England's midfield certainly has a bit more youth and energy about them, and there may be times where Elliot Anderson sits and Rice is the one that pushes forward at certain moments in the game. So I think if you check out the odds for Rice to be fouled, it's over evens. For him to be fouled at any point in the game, I think that is a standout price when you're looking at player selections for this game. And finally, this double, Perisic, 26 goal involvements for PSV last season. Fantastic stuff at his age. And this is his last dance as well. Harry Kane to score or assist, because if England do get a goal, he is the main man you would expect to put it in the back of the net. He's chasing Gary Lineker's English all-time World Cup goals record. So that was the England game. 2-0 is my gut prediction. As I mentioned earlier, get yours in the comments for your chance to win and your name up in lights in the next episode. I'm not discounting Croatia. They've got some good players, of course. Palisic, Modric, Gvardiol, just looking through the team here. Susic, Moro, who plays for Bologna. They've got players all over Europe, really. But I mentioned the age profile, and I do think it could come into its own later in the game. England to win 2-0. Get your predictions in the comments. Can't wait to read them. Now for Portugal against DR Congo. Congo have got a few Premier League players. Wan-Bissaka, Wissa, Tuanzebe, of course, as well, who's had Premier League experience. They're a physical, well-organised team. And the bookies and other probability models and whatnot are giving them a 1 in 4 chance of winning this game. It is Cristiano Ronaldo's last dance, 41 years old, 229th cap, almost certainly his final World Cup. He is chasing the one trophy that has eluded him thus far. He's looking to score at his 6th different World Cup. Messi just got a hat-trick. What can you do, Cristiano? Now we're going to put some selections together for these games. This is what I was on for Portugal-Congo, and I will say the odds are absolutely terrible for this. The bookies really expecting Portugal to do a number on Congo. So I'm going to go with Congo to get a couple of cards and over 2.5 goals in the game. Next up, Ghana against Panama. This is 8 p.m. from Toronto. Another Group L opener, of course. Whoever takes points here really does boost their hopes of qualifying behind either England or Croatia. Ghana at their 5th World Cup, but come into this after a bit of a chaotic preparation. They've won just 1 of their last 7 World Cup games and have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 10 World Cup matches. They do, however, have Antoine Semenyo and, of course, Ayew at the top end of the pitch. Thomas Partey denied access to Canada. He will not feature. That is a big midfield loss for them. And for Panama, it's their 2nd World Cup, and they are vastly improved under their manager. 6 years of stability now compared to Ghana's chaos. BTTS has landed in 8 of the last 10 games for Panama. And that's what I'm going to go with. I actually mentioned this on my World Cup preview video, that Panama have scored against some really good teams. And I think BTTS, keep it simple, evens. Ghana could go on to win this game, but we could, as we have seen, many draws in this competition. And finally, Uzbekistan against Colombia, 11 p.m. this one from Mexico City. Uzbekistan's first ever World Cup. They did very well in the qualifying, lost just 1 of 16, and they are now coached by Fabio Cannavaro, 2006 World Cup champion. He knows how to win a World Cup, and they are expected to sit deep and defend and hit on the break. Colombia are the quality side, expected to have a lot of the ball here, and they do have James Rodriguez still in the squad. Brilliant stuff. He has been around, hasn't he? Genuine dark horses with many people, Colombia. It's been played at the Azteca in altitude where the opening game was, so this could be a leveler worth mentioning, or maybe it favours Colombia. Colombia are expected to win this game. And for this one, I am again keeping things simple, but I do think Uzbekistan will give as good as they've got. They seem to be a pretty fearless team, did very well in qualifying, but Colombia will have the quality over 90 minutes, in my opinion. So BTTS, but Colombia to get ahead, maybe 2-1, 3-1, 3-2. Let's see. And don't forget to put your predictions in the comments for your chance to win OddAlerts Pro. I'll be back here tomorrow with another World Cup predictions video.